I asked 100 working women about their afternoon energy crashes, and what I discovered completely changed the way I think about workplace energy. Let me explain. For years, I kept noticing something strange. Professional women in their 40s could absolutely crush their mornings. Sharp, prepared, leading conversations, making decisions, and then suddenly hit a wall between 1 and 3 p.m. You know the feeling. Your brain slows down, your focus gets fuzzy, your to-do list feels heavier, and you're just hoping the next meeting doesn't require too much from you. So I got curious. I wanted to understand why this happens and what the women who don't crash are doing differently. I surveyed 100 corporate women between 38 and 52 years old. Managers, analysts, directors, VPs, consultants, women who live inside calendars, inboxes, deadlines, client meetings, and leadership expectations. And what they told me was unexpected. 87 out of the 100 said they experience a predictable crash every single afternoon. Not once in a while, every day. But that wasn't the surprising part. The surprising part was the weird little habits they created to survive it. One project manager told me she keeps ice cubes in her desk drawer, just a small container she refills every morning. And when she feels the crash coming, she rubs them on her wrists and behind her neck during meetings. Another woman admitted she does invisible squats behind her standing desk. Full squats, perfectly hidden from the camera. A finance director shared her extremely specific ritual. She eats exactly 12 almonds at 11:47 a.m. Not 11:45, not noon, 11:47, on the dot. And she swears it works. Another woman relies on what she calls her bathroom mirror pep talk. Every time she feels her energy dipping, she goes to the bathroom, looks herself in the mirror, and gives a 30-second motivational speech. Like a tiny TED Talk in the middle of the workday. But things got even more interesting. The women with the highest, most consistent energy, the ones who stay sharp through late-day meetings, had even stranger habits. One VP carries peppermint tea bags everywhere she goes and brews them with cold water from the office cooler. Another executive does stealth stretches during conference calls, leg lifts, hip openers, even yoga poses, while she's on mute with her camera off. And here's the twist. None of these habits come from a scientific program. They're not part of a structured system. They're not routines they learned from an expert. They're just accidental solutions. Tiny experiments they tried on a random Tuesday that somehow worked for their bodies, so they kept doing them. But when I analysed everything they shared, something clicked. The women with the most stable energy weren't trying to overhaul their lifestyles. They weren't reinventing their mornings. They weren't doing complicated routines or strict programs. They were making tiny, almost invisible adjustments that fit into their real workday. Not theoretical routines, not aspirational habits, just small shifts they could do between meetings, during emails, or while walking to the printer. Tiny shifts created consistent energy. Small habits created big impact. And that's when I realized something important. Maybe the real secret to avoiding the 2 p.m. crash isn't about discipline or motivation or perfect routines. Maybe it's about finding your version of the 12 almonds at 11:47 a.m., your version of the invisible squats, your version of the peppermint tea bag. And that brings me to something that changed everything for me. If all these women found their habits by accident, what would happen if you had a simple way to discover yours intentionally? Because after analysing all this data, one thing became clear. Most women don't need a new diet, a new morning routine, or more discipline. They need small, personalised habits that their actual workday can support. And that's why I created Steadier Energy at Work in 30 days. It's not a diet, not a challenge, and not a list of rules. It's a 30-day guide that helps you identify your own tiny, sustainable shifts. Your personal version of the habit that keeps your mind clear, your energy steady, and your afternoons productive without needing perfect willpower or perfect mornings. If you're curious about what your tiny habit could be, the one that changes your entire workday, I'll leave the link below. Sometimes the smallest adjustment ends up being the thing that finally makes your day feel like it's working with you, not against you.